Hey Cancer, thanks for stopping by. All right, let's get into it. All right, Cancer. All right, let me just take a look. For anybody new, I have to touch the cards. So, okay, so you're in this Ten of Cups energy, or you were recently. So just to make sure everybody knows what's going on. This is you in the past. This is the present within a month ago and a month in the future, and this is all future. Okay. So you could be married. It feels like the worry is over, the exhaustion is over. You might have gone through some sort of something emotional, but it's like you stayed for the battle, or you got through the battle, or something to that extent. So there could have been something recently, or that you're going through right now, that may be causing some sort of stress, like mental exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, physical exhaustion. But you're getting through it. If this is something that you're going through right now, you're heading for the 10 of Cups. So like in the end, whatever is going on, you're gonna feel really good in the end. This could have been something that was causing some sort of emotional chaos. It could have had to do with like a child, potentially. It doesn't have to, but I am picking that up. Okay, so let's go over to this pile. Okay, so there might be something going on in your home. I don't know if you're moving house or if you're doing some sort of, I don't know, it feels like construction or something like that. There might be some issues with it. Something isn't turning out how you wanted it or something like that. But I'm getting this feeling like you're so, or you're trying to be at ease, or you are at ease, like just very graceful with the whole process. Yeah, I'm just getting like some sort of rebuilding almost. So that could be like your physical house, or like I said, building, or some sort of construction. It's just very interesting because I'm getting stability here, but this is not really stability, but it's almost like a process. So it's like, it could be that you feel stable in all areas of your life except whatever this is. It feels like house, but it could also be like work. There could be just things going on at work. It just feels kind of chaotic. It also doesn't feel huge. Like if the tower was here, then I'd say it was bigger, but it feels like it could just be little things, like a bunch of little things, like let's say you're getting like your kitchen remodeled or something. It's like the wrong countertops were ordered, and then there was a delay putting in the flooring, and then on and on. It's like something like that. Not that I'm seeing delays, but it just feels like there's all these little things that are happening. There's also a lot of wands here, so I just feel like there's a lot of like energy or movement. That could be why I'm picking up the chaos. But like you're showing up as the Queen of Pentacles here, so I feel like it's almost like you're just taking it in stride. I'm not saying there's not stress or worry or whatnot, but it could be because you came from the 10 of Cups. You're just very like balanced. Your emotions are very stable, and so going into any kind of chaos, it's like you're starting from a good place going into it, because I just don't feel like this is causing you like turmoil or anything like that. Okay, so moving forward. Also, I just want to thank everybody who has liked, shared, and subscribed, and also those of you who have left comments. It does let me know that messages resonate, so thank you. Also, all of my readings are timeless, so feel free to peruse. Okay. There's this feels like a delay here, or like getting a different perspective maybe on something. It could be something to do with finances. So especially if this is moving house or remodeling, There may be something with like a budget or something like that. Okay. I am picking up, especially if this was like something to do with a house. Make sure that whatever, like especially remodeling or whatnot, make sure it's done correctly. There's like a little warning here. So make sure as they're doing the work, everything that was agreed upon is done. Make sure like just make sure they didn't cut any corners. Okay, it's not to scare you. It's just a little warning. And it might be that they didn't realize. It's almost like something is missed. So like take a second look or something like that. Even make sure like the quality. So like if you ordered, a certain brand or something, make sure that whatever was put in is what you wanted, what you paid for. Because I almost feel like if this is a remodel, like the contractor might have just made a mistake or something like that. So just watch for that. Let me just take a look. Yeah, I'm just getting like, okay. If this is something to do with work, there's a need for a different perspective. So I don't know if this is like, maybe you don't feel like you're making what you should or something. There's like this need for another perspective. So if it has to do with your finances, like in your job, try to see it differently. Not that I'm saying you're not right, okay? But sometimes the value in something isn't just monetary, right? So it could be that you're gaining skills from this job that will help you with your next endeavor. It could also be like the people that you work with or that you're meeting at work are like important for, something down the road. So try to think of those things as well. Obviously this isn't for everybody, but just remember like sometimes the payoff isn't always monetary. That's what I'm getting. Okay. And then we're moving into, okay, there's like some kind of weight that's going to be lifted off of you. Let's see. Okay. Let me take a look, guys. Okay. So that perspective I mentioned, that's going to happen. I'm getting expansion. So for whatever this is about with the getting a different perspective or taking a second look, it's going to cause some sort of expansion. It could be like, even say this was some sort of remodel and after taking a second look or having a discussion with the contractor, it was found that something was done incorrectly. It's like, because you checked on that or spoke up about it, there's some sort of expansion that happens. So maybe in the past you've just let things go, or you haven't looked at details or something like that. So now in the future you're going to do that. There's some sort of expansion that is caused from this, gaining a different perspective or taking a second look at something. Yeah, and it's almost like it's going to create almost like less work for you in the future, or less of whether it's an emotional burden, a physical burden, mental burden. It's going to create less of that in the future. Yeah, I just feel like you're going to be a lot lighter. And not just for whatever is going on now, but like even down the road, because there's something that you've learned from this. Okay. That's funny. And you're back at the Ten of Cups. The 2 reverse devil cards. Okay. Okay, so basically any attachments you're letting go of. So for example, when we were discussing like the monetary, like if you feel you're not being compensated what you think you should, it's like you're letting go of that for, whether it's a different perspective on that, or or what. There could also be something about dependence on someone else, or dependence on something else that you're letting go of. So, I mean, that could be anything. That could be your attachment to money, your attachment to a person, your attachment to situations or chaos. You know, take whatever resonates. But you're going back to the Ten of Cups, and this happens really quick. And I think it goes back to whatever this new perspective is. Like, this feels big. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels like big. Like this is a big, like a big realization or something for you. Okay. So okay, I feel like you're a pretty stable person. Like, you like stability. You don't like chaos. You don't like things not working out, in a sense. You may have trouble making choices sometimes. You might just get stuck in your head a little bit, but I feel like you're very practical. So I don't know if it's like, it's almost like maybe certain choices are more difficult for you depending on the practicality of whatever the choice is based in. I feel like it doesn't take much to please you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like you're pretty low maintenance type of person. So you're kind of like happy with the little things. You may have a lot of hurt in your life, whether that's, I'm getting like people passing. So you may have had like many close, family or friends pass on. I'm so sorry if that is the case for you. For others, you might have had just heartbreak in your past, or people in your life who have been hurtful. There's something about that, about just hurt in your life. Okay. All right, so for the Oracle card, you guys, I'm only going to read the first paragraph, and I'm going to fast forward through all the shuffling since it just takes forever. Okay, you guys got number 1, Priestess. Begin, perceive, predict, prophesize. In euphoric trance, the High Priestess of Apollo channels universal wisdom to open you to the divine. On either side of her stand 2 golden pillars, marking the portal to her mystical temple, the Temple of Apollo. Okay, I'm going to read the second paragraph because that gave us nothing. The Red Wisdom Keeper entreats you to follow your sacred leadership path and wholly embrace your intuitive gifts. You are being called to step onto your priestess pathway with a sense of unwavering devotion, to lead with wholehearted dedication to uplifting universal consciousness. All right, guys. Well, listen, I hope that helps someone, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.